Man, I could really go for some ice cream right now. You want some? Hey. Dude. Want some ice cream? Yeah, I could eat. Yeah, me too. Where are we gonna get some? Bro, what am I supposed to know? Figure it out. Hey, there's a guy up here in a Tesla. Let's see what that's all about. Pardon me, sir, but would you have any frozen ice cream?
But of course.
Thanks, man. Cool. In all seriousness, what is this thing? Well, this is a integrated refrigerator, freezer, and warmer that was sent to me by my friends at EV Base, and it's designed to integrate into the back console of your Tesla Model Y or Model 3 to make it look like it was factory. Let's take a tour of this thing. Here you have your refrigerator freezer. Got some cables. It is a little small. It will hold up to 6 cans of soda or whatever, and it's got a removable grate that will help you support those cans. There's a display up here that we can use to control the settings. It says it will go from -8 degrees Celsius all the way up to positive 55 degrees Celsius. So not only can it cool like a refrigerator, but it just might also work as a freezer or keep something frozen, and also a warmer if you want to keep food that would fit in here warm. On the back, we have the business end, and this is where it integrates into the car. And we'll show you how that installation goes here in a second, but we're going to remove a cover from the back of the car where this will actually pop in and give us that integrated look. So before we actually figure out how well this thing works and who this is for, let's get it installed. Now, in order to get this refrigerator freezer installed, we have to remove a couple of components. And if you've been following my channel, you know that I've replaced this rear screen a few times to show you some different options available to you. The process of getting this refrigerator installed involves removing some of the same covers. We need to remove the lower cover as well as take out a couple of T20 Torx screws to remove this lower cover, and that's what we'll keep off, and that's where the refrigerator will integrate in. So let's go ahead and pop those covers off now. Just like that. Now we have to get access to these two T20 screws that are right there. If you reach down, this cover will just pop off. You also probably want to remove the screen here. This is the next thing we have to install. This is the wiring harness that will allow power to go from the car to the refrigerator, and the way that they go about it in this particular setup is to basically tee in to the USB connection that is for the back of your car, and this goes to the refrigerator itself, and it looks like that there is a backing fuse as well. Now, you may be asking, how much power does this refrigerator draw? Well, according to the manual, it only draws 30 watts, which is basically nothing. So let's go ahead and get this cable spliced in and get the refrigerator turned on and see what our next step is. Just did an install of a new rear screen, and it has a splice here, but this is the USB connection that is normally mounted to the back cover. So we're going to go ahead and splice into that. We're going to go ahead and put our jumper back on. This isn't, if you don't have a rear screen, you don't need to worry about this. Now we have a plug-in for the refrigerator, so let's get the refrigerator in here and get her powered up. Okay. So let's get After quite a bit of finagling, I was able to get the refrigerator installed and get the clips to line up and make sure we weren't pinching any cables. That was by far the hardest part of this install. It is just a large piece of heavy plastic that you have to manipulate to get all the clips hooked up where they need to go. Take your time, take a break if you need to. They will go. Just take your time. Now that it's installed, let's see what this thing can do and try to figure out who this refrigerator is for. Now that the refrigerator is installed, let's put this little guy through its paces and see what it can do. And let's first deal with what it should be able to do the easiest, which is act as a straight fridge. And in order to do that, the first thing you got to ask is, how much will it hold? Well, I've got a can of soda here and a regular US size bottle of water. So let's see if they'll fit. How much will fit? So here's the first thing that I noticed that's different than what you see on their website, and it will not hold 6 cans of US sized cans of soda. The most I can get into it is 4. Naturally, if you're reaching behind and you're filling this thing up, if you can reach it, you're only gonna probably get 3 cans of soda in there. Next, let's try the bottled water. Can we get the bottled water to fit? Surprisingly, the fridge is deep enough to accept this bottle of water front to back almost. There is enough compression on the bottle that I am able to get the door closed. And with that, you can actually fit a number of these bottles in there. Another feature of this fridge is that it's not a fridge at all, is that it can actually heat something. It can heat something up to 55 degrees Celsius, so that's about 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And as I sit here on the surface, that sounds really cool. But what is it that I'd actually use that for? Because 130 isn't high enough to actually cook anything. It is really technically able to keep it warm, but what are you going to keep warm? It's too small to fit like a bag of takeout food. It might fit a couple of large fries from McDonald's, but besides that, it's not going to really keep a lot of food in a storage area to actually warm it. So I'm kind of struggling with a real world application of what the heating function of this refrigerator freezer heater actually can do. Perhaps you have an idea of what this thing could be used for as a heater. If you have, I'd appreciate you leaving a comment below and letting everybody know. The last thing that I want to do is the one thing that I'm most curious about, which is, will this thing work as a freezer? And in order to try that, I want to see, can it actually freeze water? Because this thing could be useful to store or freeze some ice cream if you're camping or you want something cold for a long road trip, which is not very practical for you to store any other way. And this might actually just do the trick. But the question is, can you actually keep ice cream cold? And I thought the best way to check this out would be to take a small cup of water and stick it inside the freezer and see if it will actually freeze that water into ice. So I'm going to check back here in a second and you'll see the results. Well, what has been just a moment for you has been 12 hours for me. So let's see if this thing made ice. Look at that. It's an ice cube. Completely frozen, solid, hard, no liquid whatsoever. And to be frank, I didn't think it would do it, and it did. So this thing can perform. It can take something that was absolutely liquid and warm and freeze it solid. So if you want to put something like ice cream or anything else that you want to keep absolutely frozen that will fit inside this thing can do it. The last question I have to ask myself is, who is this refrigerator for? It's not for somebody that is going to want to store a lot of things, a lot of food, a lot of drinks, or even heat up a lot of food. This is a very tight, small, utilitarian fridge, freezer, heater that can pretty much do it all, that is so tightly integrated into the car, it actually looks factory, and it takes up virtually no extra space. So if you are on the road or just driving around and you always want to have 1 or 2 drinks available to you at any moment in time, or you feel the need to crack out ice cream while you're driving because you're feeling hot that day, this can do that. Now, the elephant in the room here is got to be the price. This is a premium priced product, and if you want this type of product and you want something that's perfectly integrated into your car and you want the ability to freeze and cool and heat and not take up any additional space, then this might be the right fridge for you. You'll have to make that decision for yourself. If you do, I'll leave a link in the description below and you can swing over to EVBase's site and pick up one for yourself. And if you do decide to pick up one for yourself, make sure you use the checkout code IOWATESLA at checkout to save some bucks on your purchase. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd appreciate you hitting the like button. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.